Hey everybody, this is Tom, otherwise known as Scary Spikes, and welcome to a new Star Citizen video. And this is going to be a very special one, as we're going to be taking a look at the Esperia Glaive. This thing is really amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough for helping me to unlock it with LTI as a result of the 200 referral bonus. Thank you guys so very much. And if you'd like to also join Star Citizen, if you're thinking about it and you're brand new and you want to start out with some extra cash, please use my code down below. You can of course also click the link to be taken to the page to create your account, and of course you can also use the Discord link down below to join our Discord if you need any help, or check out the playlist that I have for Star Citizen to help you in your first steps in the verse. Again, guys, thank you so very much for all of your amazing support. I am so grateful to all of you, and I do need to apologize for not being able to put out a video earlier last week. As you can imagine, I was having issues with Star Citizen, and we finally managed to get them fixed. So thank you again for putting up with me and being patient with me as I deal with my issues from last week. And of course, again, thank you so much, guys, for helping to make the Esperia Glaive a reality for me. I do very much appreciate that. I never thought that we would get to 200, let alone, you know, literally anything else. So thank you so very much for all your support. Speaking of which, we do need to thank one of our VIP Gold contributors, and this week that's going to be Zanzi. Zanzi used to be one of our moderators, and he continues, despite the fact that he's got stuff going on IRL, which is of course a priority for us here, continues to support us and be an active member of the community. And so, Zanzi, thank you so much for all of your contributions, and thank you so much for continuing to stay as a VIP Gold contributor to help me do what I do here. I very much appreciate that. One last thing, guys, if you want to go check out, we have some brand new merch available for all of our friends from the United States of America. There is some brand new stuff. We've got long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and new t-shirts, and a bunch of new accessories, and all of the new stuff ships from the US&A. So very nice. Now you can order something and not have to wait for UPS to get it across the border and then charge you $200 to have it delivered. Fantastic. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and roll the intro and get into this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and have a look at the Esperia Glaive. This thing is an amazing ship, and of course, as you can see, it definitely has a lot of those designs that you would expect to see on an Esperia ship, basically making it look like a completely badass bird of prey. Let's have a look at the weapons first before we take a tour around the exterior of the ship, and then I'll show you guys the cockpit, as it is very compact. First and foremost, we have these size 1 lasers that are very fast firing from the very front of the ship here. These things are absolutely awesome, and as of the 3.14 update, of course, they do have regenerating ammo, which means that you are going to have to wait for that ammo to regenerate before you're able to fire again. But ultimately, once you do that, you've got unlimited ammunition, which is really cool. And of course, we also have a pair of size 5 laser cannons. These are the rats, and my goodness, this is like having basically a stripped down, in the best of ways, Prowler, where you have tons more maneuverability. Of course, none of the transport capability of the Prowler, but lots of firepower here, with just a little bit over 4,000 DPS between these 4 guns altogether. Now, these are all laser weapons, which is really great. Like I said, with the 3.14 update, that is important because the lasers, although they do have recharging ammo, they do not ever actually run out of ammo. So as long as you let them recharge, you should be good to go. One of the other things that I really like about this is the color. You've got the lights on the very front of the ship, which are red, which is absolutely insane. The lights on the back of the ship are red as well, as are the engines and the main part of the fuselage, which is a very common and recurring theme, with some splashes of yellow to add to the look. I honestly think this ship looks absolutely amazing, and it reminds me a little bit, especially the back end, giggity, of one of Yamaha's super sport or sport bikes. I'm not sure if you guys know which one I'm talking about there. I can't remember the name exactly, but there is a motorcycle, for all those motorcycle fans, that was made by Yamaha, which had a very similar exhaust on it. Of course, not one capable of taking you out to space, even though it might feel like it, but that's the kind of vibes that I get with this thing. It's super fast, and especially for a medium fighter, it feels very maneuverable in space. Not as much in atmosphere, but that's to be expected. It is a bit of a bigger ship and not as super aerodynamic as some of the other streamlined ships we've seen that are a little bit smaller than this. That being said, one of the other nice features about this ship is that we can see we have independent lights under the landing gear. That is actually really cool. I'm not able to see actually where those particular lights are coming from, but the really cool thing about this is once you decide that you need to get up and go, check this out. Landing gear comes up and the wings come down and you're ready to fly, baby. This thing looks absolutely amazing with its swept down wings, making it look like the downstroke of a flight dynamic of a bird, which of course is Esperia's namesake. So let's go ahead and put this baby back on the ground and take a look at the interior of the ship, and then we'll have a look at how I would outfit it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not a whole lot I'm going to change except for the majority of the size 1 components that are on this particular medium fighter. Alright, so let's go ahead and have a look on the inside of the ship here, and oh my goodness. Everything is red, including the brand new HUD. Now, if you haven't seen this HUD, I did make a video explaining what everything is here, so I'm going to go ahead and link that in the top right hand corner of the screen if you'd like to go and check it out. So we're not going to be going over that today, and we're going to be focusing on the interior of this beautiful, gorgeous, awesome, streamlined, sexy, well-designed interior. I really, really love this. Alright, so let's go ahead and start by getting out and getting back into the ship so you guys actually see what that's like. It's very, very unique. We get on this sort of like sliding mechanism that takes you up and into the interior of the ship. We basically hold F to open up the inner thought, left click, and this thing comes down and we simply get on it like we're in a laying down roller coaster. This thing brings us up and then it swoops up to swallow us into the interior of the ship. And that's it. We're in just like that. And we've got some panels on either side here. Actually, it just looks like the one side here. We've got a panel with some switches and stuff on it. We've got a pseudo yoke here, as well as some, looks like MFDs here. So we've got one on the bottom right there showing our weapons. We've got another on the bottom left that looks like it's showing our power. We've got the one on the top right here showing our target, and then the one on the top left here showing our status. And of course, we do also have the brand new HUD, and just very, very quickly, we're going to have our weapons on the right-hand side. If we switch over to missiles, we'll notice that we also have 8 size 2 missiles on this ship. The bullet missiles are definitely something I'm going to change, so make sure to stay tuned for the outfitting. But that being said, everything else is pretty standard, and this thing is pretty fast if we can get it up into the air. And man, just look at that. How cool is this? Let's go ahead and take off. And look at that beautiful afterburner. This looks absolutely awesome. And once we get up to speed, we definitely feel we have a lot more maneuvering characteristics. One thing that I noticed though is maneuvering it up and down is definitely a little bit more of a challenge, so you've got to be careful with it. But it's really, really fun. Super fun to fly, and the weapons just look insane firing them from the inside. So with the speed that we've got on this thing, I am sure that we could actually outmaneuver a good number of medium to larger size ships and do a ton of DPS on them. Hopefully with the brand new dogfighting mechanics we find in the game, we're going to be able to just barely miss that mountain. Oh my god, my heart just stopped for a second. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep that in the video because that was a lot more badass than I was expecting it to be, even though it was a total accident. Whew. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the loadout. I need to change my pants. Alright, so let's go ahead and have a look at the loadout of the ship. But before we get started though, if you're a brand new player or relatively new to Star Citizen, make sure to go see the video that I'm linking in the top right hand corner of the screen right now. That is my understanding ship components video, and it will show you and give you a foundation of understanding about all of the different components, what they do, the naming structure, the classes, the sizes, and the grades, and all of that will help you to make an informed decision when upgrading all of your ships. Alright, you're back. Great, thanks for watching that video, and let's go ahead and get into the fit of the Glaive. So first we're going to start in propulsion, as always, and I'm going to go ahead and go with the Spectre. My reasoning for this is because it has the best acceleration of any of the quantum drives available in a short distance. So for example, if you're doing bounty hunting and you're staying within a particular subsystem, such as Hurston, you're jumping between Hurston and Ariel and Aberdeen and Ida and all the different moons, then you're going to want something that will get you there as fast as possible. And the Spectre will do that, and it will also reduce your signature at the same time, so double win. Really awesome. If you're going to be going longer distances and you want to be a lot more efficient on your fuel, you want to save some money on the fuel, but also you don't have to get there immediately, then the Atlas is definitely a good option for you. It's very fuel efficient, and it's a very, very good overall quantum drive. But for me, for my purposes, I'm going to be staying usually within a subsystem with one of these kinds of ships doing bounty quests and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stay with the Spectre. All right, let's move on to the systems. Now, the systems is kind of interesting. We have all size 1 systems here. We have 2 coolers, 1 power plant, and 2 shield generators. As you can see, I've already made my choices here. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, like, for example, the Avenger Titan video, also having all size 1 components, you'll know that these are some of my favorite to use because of how good they are. The first one is going to be, of course, the cooler, and for that, we're going to be using the Glacier. That is a military grade A. Very, very nice cooler. And that's pretty much what I use for all of my size 1 stuff, is the Glacier. Don't ask me why I have so many of them. I don't know. If you want them and I have a means to give them to you, I would love to do that. Unfortunately, it's not something we can do in the game right now. Moving on to the power plants, I'm going to go ahead and choose the JS series, of course. Again, if you guys have seen my videos in the past, you know I'm a huge fan of the JS. It is a great overall power plant. Really, really good. The 300 is, of course, the size 1. The 400, the size 2. The 500 is the size 3. And I don't know if we'll be getting size 4 stuff in the future, but I hope so because I have an 890 and that has all size 4 stuff, and I'd like to pimp that thing out. As if it's not pimped out already. Anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and move on to the generators here, the shield generators, and these are going to be the FR66. Now, of course, you can go with the bulwark with one of these if you want a little bit more shield pool, but I really think it's very important to have a very high regen rate on these smaller to medium-sized ships because you're going to be in the thick of things quite a bit more, and you want to be able to take some hits and continue to fight instead of turning tail and running away, possibly risking getting blown up. So this is definitely going to be a great choice for you. It's again a staple, something that I use on all of my ships as a size 1 shield. Unfortunately, on the Glaive, we're not able to make any changes to the weapons, but fortunately, even in 3.14, the weapons on this thing are fantastic. We've got the 2 size 1 lasers, the 2 size 5 lasers, with about 4100 and change DPS between all of them, which is more than enough for something of this size. Really, really, really good. Unfortunately, like I said, we can't change them. Maybe that's something that's going to be allowed in the future, but these weapons are honestly more than good enough. They are proprietary, which does kind of suck, but you'll be able to do tons of damage with them, so not too much to worry about in that department. Now, this is interesting. We're going to go ahead and unload these really quickly because these are the 8 size 2 missiles that you can have, and of course, we have the 2 442 proprietary missile launchers on this thing, which will allow us to have 2 different types of missiles. And it's important to note that in 3.14, one of the major changes was that you cannot mix missiles. You can only choose one type of missile per launcher. So for example, in this one here, if we choose the Strike Force, which is actually my preferred missile of choice for size 2, once we go over here, this is another hard point on the same launcher. We do not have a choice of any other missile other than the Strike Force, because in that launcher, we've already chosen a Strike Force. We can only have Strike Force in that launcher. The way to get around that, of course, would be to unload that, unload this, and then if we choose, for example, the Dominator, let's just go ahead and take one off our Hornet, and you can see that here, we are only going to have a choice of Dominators, because we are we're working within the same launcher. Personally, I really, really like the Strike Forces. We're going to go ahead and keep those, and just because you can't mix missiles in the same launcher doesn't mean that you can't have 2 or more launchers and have different types of missiles in each of those launchers, which you can definitely have here. I'm not actually sure if there are any other missiles that would be viable. I still need to do some testing on that. Make sure to give me your word down in the comments there if you've discovered any of the other missiles being quite good. But we're going to go ahead and stick with the Strike Force since those are tried and true and ones that I really enjoy using. And there we go, they are all Strike Forces now. So we've got a very nice ship here loaded out with some size 5s and size 1 guns. We also have 8 size 2 missiles for good measure. That's going to do it for me, everybody. Thank you so very much for getting me to 200 referrals and for watching this video. I sincerely and really, really gratefully appreciate all of your help and support as always. And of course, if you did enjoy the video and you found it helpful in any way, please do let me and YouTube know by leaving a like, making sure to subscribe if you're new, and of course, ring that bell so that you never miss a video in the future as I do my best to publish videos weekly. Make sure to join us on stream as well, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch in our amazing Discord community. Links for those are in the description below. Alright guys, I am beat. What a video. Thank you so much for the experience here. I hope you guys enjoyed that and have a wonderful, have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time and hope to see you in the next video.